So what does it mean to earn interest on the same dollar twice? If you've been looking in the infinite banking, this is probably something that you've came across at least once, and I'm gonna break it down. So essentially what it is first we gotta understand, what are the mechanics of the whole life insurance policy. So whole life insurance policy, you feed a premium or put a premium into the policy. That premium, a portion of that's gonna go towards your cash value. Think of the cash value as the savings portion or the savings account within your policy. And then the other portion of that premium is gonna go towards the death benefit, which is the insurance part to it. So with your cash value, as you continue to put premium in the policy, your cash value is gonna build up over time, and that's money that you have access to. You can use it at any point in time. Typically, within the first 30 days of starting a policy, you can actually access the cash value inside of your policy. Now, what would you actually use the cash value for? So technically, since it's your money, you can use it for anything. Most commonly, people are gonna be using it for investments, and that's personally where I recommend it and where it's very powerful. You could also use it for refinancing debt, especially student loans. If you're you're a doctor or a dentist, you got a lot of student loans, that could be a very, very powerful use case of the policy. But it's commonly used for investment purposes. So as you build up cash value, let's say over time you've built up $100,000 in the policy and you want $50,000 to make to invest in your business for marketing, let's say. Well, this is where you earn interest on the same dollar twice. So with the $100,000 in your policy, assuming you're with a mutual insurance carrier, and I'm not gonna get super in the weeds with that in this video, I have other videos talking about the importance of mutual insurance carriers, but essentially to keep it high level, with a mutual insurance carrier, you're gonna get a guaranteed rate of return on your cash value, typically, depending on the carrier and product, between 3 to 4%. And then on top of that, you're gonna get a surplus, which is the company's excess profits. So when you're with a mutual carrier, being a whole life policy holder, you're effectively a partner in the company. So you get to participate in the profits that the company makes. So you're gonna get your dividend rate plus your surplus, and that's gonna equal what's called your dividend rate. So your dividend rate, depending again on the carrier, could be anywhere between 5–6%. It's pretty standard right now. So let's just say you get a 5% dividend rate. That means your $100,000 cash value, you're gonna get credited 5%, and then the insurance carrier is gonna take out their fees and their expenses. So you might be left net-wise around 3.5–4%. So your $100,000 in cash value, needless to say, is going to be earning interest and dividends on it. Now, when you need this $50,000 to invest in your business for marketing, this is what you'll do. So you got money earning in your policy, you'll go to the insurance carrier that you're with, you can call them up, some have an online portal, or you can have your agent help you request a loan or fill out a form, but you request a loan, and typically within 3 to 5 business days, you'll get that money. So it's pretty quick. There's no credit check. They can't deny you for requesting this loan. It's built into the contract. There's loan provisions in there, meaning the insurance carrier has to give you a loan no matter what. So keep that in mind, very, very important. So you can get the money pretty quick, and there's no red tape to get that money. When you do see the $50,000 hit your bank account, because when you request that loan, they're gonna wire the money to your bank account. Once that $50,000 hits, you can now use that $50,000 to invest in the marketing, let's say. Now, assuming you did a good job allocating those $50,000 marketing-wise, and you earned a return from doing that, let's say that $50,000 investment in the marketing, you ended up getting $200,000 worth of business out of it. So obviously that was a great return. That's effectively where you would be earning money in 2 different spots at the same time, or you're having the same dollar do multiple jobs. Is you have your money earning inside of the policy for you, so you're getting a return there, and then you're using the insurance company's money to go make money, so you're earning in a second spot there outside of the policy. So the way to look at it is you're earning money internally with the cash value inside the policy, and then you're earning money externally via the form of policy loans and utilizing that to go make more money with. So that's essentially what earning interest on the same dollar twice means. And it's very powerful because once you put money into your cash value inside of your policy, that money is going to continue to work for you as long as the policy is in force until you die, essentially. So that's where, when you get money into that environment, not only is it going to continuously work for you, if it's set up properly, those dollars are going to be growing tax deferred. So you're not going to have to pay taxes on the gains as it's growing in there. And the kicker is, when it's set up the right way, you can access, like we've been talking about, you can access the money tax-free in the form of policy loans. So that's where it's very powerful. So once you get, because you're putting after-tax dollars into the policy, you can't, well, there's some cases if your policy is inside of a retirement plan that you could use pre-tax dollars. Not going to get into that in today's video, it's irrelevant. But just know, once your after-tax dollars go into this policy, they're going to grow tax-deferred, you can access it tax-free. So why is that powerful? Is because if tax rates go up in the future, you know the dollars in this in the whole life insurance policy are safe and they're not subject to future taxation. And then lastly, not really it's a big deal, but it's not super important in terms of what we're focusing on today, but the death benefit. You know, death benefit's a huge deal, and that'll be paid out income tax free when you pass away. There could be estate taxes potentially. So just keep that in mind, but that's really the power of the cash value. It's a safe bucket of money that you have access to. It's gonna grow no matter what the markets are doing. It's not tied to the market, and you have access to the money at any point in time. And then lastly, I wanna touch on is the control aspect of it. So as your dollar is earning interest for you twice, if you want to look at it like that, you also have a lot of control over the loan that you took to make that second tier of money, if you want to look at it like that. That loan that you requested from the carrier, in this case the $50,000, there's going to be interest for that loan. So there's no free money out there, there's no free lunch, but just know there's gonna be typically around 5%, depending on the carrier, 5-6% interest for that loan. But keep in mind, you're earning money inside the policy. So not in all scenarios, but there could be a scenario where you actually have a little bit of arbitrage on there, meaning the policy is earning more in interest than the loan cost. You shouldn't be expecting that. It might just happen to work out to where that's the case. Like in the example I just shared, if you're earning, let's say 4% in your policy and you have $100,000 in there, that's $4,000, and you request a $50,000 loan and it's 5% interest, that would be $2,500 in loan interest. So technically in that scenario, your policy, you actually have a $1,500 spread there. But that's not how you should look at this at all. If it happens to work out to where you have a little bit of spread, great. If not, it doesn't matter, because what we're doing it mainly for is the fact that our original dollars are going to continuously compound in our policy uninterrupted while we take a loan out against it. And again, it's for the control aspect. So think of the loan interest cost that the life insurance carrier is charging you. Think of that as that's the cost of you to control the money. Here's a good example, just like a bank, right? You deposit money in the bank, they have to pay you, well, if you're with like a bigger bank and it's a traditional checking savings account, it might be 0.01%, but they have to pay you interest, right? And in turn, by paying you that interest, they go out and use your money and lend it and make more money. So their control cost is essentially 0.01%, and then they have full-blown control on how they want to utilize our money, and then they go out and lend it at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%, and then they keep the spread. That's essentially what we're doing here. We're mimicking what a bank does, except, you know, in this case, we're the bank with our whole life insurance policy based on the contractual provisions we have and the control that we get over the money. Because again, technically, you know, the insurance carrier is lending us the money, but since we have these provisions in there and the control aspect, we get to mimic what a bank does, which is very, very, very powerful. And once you can fully wrap your mind around that, that's where these things really start to change in terms of your perspective on, wow, how did I not hear of this before? And number two, is this really how it works? Like, is this really possible? You know, and obviously this isn't a magic bullet. It's not some, you know, just one size fits all thing. But if you're a business owner, maybe you're a professional, like a dentist, a doctor, and you have your own practice, and or an investor, real estate investor, and you're continuously needing capital to do investments and whatnot, this is where this could be a very, very powerful strategy. You can, and I have another video or a couple other videos on this, where you could get to the point once you build up enough cash in the policy to where you don't even need to go to banks and other third-party lenders anymore. You could go to your policy or policies and simply or strictly use your policies as your source of lending, your source of financing. That way, you just have full-blown control over all of your financing needs. And then on top of that, like I've been touching on, your money in the policies is going to continuously earn interest and compound and grow over time, completely uninterrupted, as if you never touched the money in the first place. And that's really the power of it. So I hope you got value from today's video. If you do want to learn more about whole life insurance in general, check out my channel. I've got tons and tons of videos breaking down the mechanics, the do's and don'ts, the red flags to look out for when it comes to whole life insurance, specifically for infinite banking. And if you are a business owner, an investor, a dentist, a doctor out there that wants to dive into this more and see if it makes sense for yourself, top of the description, you'll see my calendar. You can click on that, book in a day and time with me. We can have a conversation, really go over your scenario, your numbers, and figure out, does this make sense for you? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, we can find an alternative. And then lastly, at the end, you'll see a recommended video. Click on that, dive into that next video, and I'll see you there.